going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about Captain America, the Winter Soldier. So I'm finally continuing my reviews for the MCU films. I've been pretty slow about getting these out, but I want to be a little bit quicker about them because this is one of my favorite movie series of all time, and I have reviewed a bunch of them so far leading up to this movie, and I did review the ones that came out in theaters since I started this channel. So I will be speeding up the process a little bit more, catching up to the other MCU films that I've yet to review here on the channel. And in today's video, I'm very happy to be joined by the Viking himself from his channel, Movies That Matter with the Viking. You can find the link to his channel down below in the description box. He's a huge fan of comic book related stuff, movies, TV, all that jazz. Has tons of great content over on his channel, and I highly recommend you guys go and check him out. So again, the link to his channel down below in the description box. But let's go ahead and start off with my thoughts on this movie. This was the introduction to Joe and Anthony Russo, the Russo brothers, to this series. This was the first film that they ended up directing, and it's safe to say that they definitely made their mark with this film. This film is definitely one of the most widely praised in the entire MCU, and the directors would go on to direct Captain America Civil War, as well as Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. So again, it's safe to say that they are incredibly knowledgeable of the MCU, and they knew what they were doing right out of the gate. This is without a doubt one of the best installments in the entire MCU, specifically as far as a sole, character-based film, like one that focuses mainly on one character. Now, there's tons of great characters in this movie that are introduced for the first time and some that are expanded upon, but as far as the film that is centered on the title character, I think that this is one of the better films in the MCU. You once again have Chris Evans in the role of Captain America, and he's just so good in the role. With everything that we've had up to this point, being able to look back at a movie like this, he's just so good at it. He's just so good in the role. And what I really enjoy about this film is that it kind of blended genres, it kind of separated itself from its traditional comic book movie roots, especially with something like Avengers that had come out just like a couple years prior. You are finally getting to this place now where you're able to kind of bring in different genres to the comic book genre in a different and fun way that isn't solely action. Now, there's a lot of really great action in this film, a lot of hand-to-hand grounded combat in this film, but what I really thoroughly enjoy about it is that a huge portion of this film is a spy espionage thriller, and I find that that's the most exciting part of this movie. The storytelling is exciting, and I just really love the way that they kind of chose to tell the story, the way they chose to introduce characters, and being able to look back and see what this film set up that is now being paid off in things like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think that they've done a really great job laying the groundwork with this film, and moving forward, they were able to play off of it very, very well. I mentioned that there's some things that are introduced in this film for the very first time, and beyond Joe and Anthony Russo having their directorial debut in the MCU with this one, you also have Anthony Mackie making his first appearance as the Falcon, Sam Wilson. We also have Sebastian Stan, coming back to the franchise after the first Captain America, but this time finally as the Winter Soldier, who he would continue to be for the rest of the time in the MCU. You also have Emily Van Camp making her debut into the series as Sharon Carter, who we just found out is the power broker in the latest season of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And yeah, I really enjoyed being able to go back and watch this movie and see what was laid down as far as the groundwork for this that would be played off of later on in this series. I think it's done so well while telling its own story, progressing Cap's story, and making Steve Rogers a really interesting character throughout all of this. What I really enjoyed about this film as well is we get a far more of a deep dive into Steve Rogers and his life in the modern world. We got to see a little bit of that in the Avengers, but that's an ensemble film. There's a lot of other characters in the mix, and since this is the first solo Captain America film that takes place in modern times, it was pretty cool to see him deal with certain things, being behind on various pop culture elements, and I really just enjoyed the overall feel and vibe of his character in the modern world. And I feel like the dialogue and his performance very much makes you feel that fish out of water story that I think is really essential to Cap's story, at least at the beginning portion of him kind of becoming a modern day Captain America after being frozen. And so yeah, really enjoyed that whole element. Chris Evans is great. You also have returning characters to this film, Black Widow played by Scarlett Johansson once again, Nick Fury played by Samuel L. Jackson, and you have the villain of this film played by Robert Redford, which was a really great performance as the president and leader of S.H.I.E.L.D. And yeah, this movie has so many little great moments of action, so many great visual moments. The cinematography is great, the costume design, the overall color palette of the film I find to be really, really cool. It definitely sticks out as just one of the cooler looking films that has, for me, one of the cooler tones. And I really have to praise the directors. Joe and Anthony Russo, they just have a specific vision for the way that they choose to tell these stories and shoot these scenes and you know, kind of build up these characters. And you can just tell with this movie and with Civil War and with Infinity War and with Endgame that they just get it. You know, they just understand the source material, they understand these characters, and they are just good directors in and of themselves. So definitely have to praise them a whole lot for that. Now that I've given pretty much my general thoughts on the movie, let's go ahead and hear what my buddy the Viking had to say about this.
My man Anthony asked me to do a review of Captain America the Winter Soldier. You know what? Am I going to do it? Will I do it? Damn right I'm going to do it. Captain America the Winter Soldier is one of those grounded comic book movies for me. It's a spy thriller, the government's involved, conspiracy theories, badass action. It's a really good movie. It's probably top-tiered MCU movie for me in terms of Infinity War, Winter Soldier. Those movies I think are the best that the MCU has produced. The rest of them, the other movies are still pretty good, but these two just have something very special about it. And look, you got Winter Soldier in it as well, Black Widow, of course, Captain America. It's just really a well-rounded movie. Falcon makes his appearance. You've got Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury too. So look, the cast is absolutely stacked. It's an interesting story. I think the action is awesome, and the Russo brothers being their introductory movie into the MCU did an amazing job. They really did, you know. And I think the way that they're able to bring this world that has aliens and superheroes into a grounded element is pretty cool. And I think one of my favorite scenes in all of comic book movie history is the elevator scene where Cap gets in and all these kind of random guys get in as well, and then Cap turns to him and goes, so anyone want to get out before we start? You know, that's just unbelievable. It really, really is. The action sequences between Cap and Winter Soldier, pretty awesome as well. And Winter Soldier had a very kind of cool vibe, the long hair, the metal arm, you know. It's just really, really cool. And I is a character that's just badass, and you love him even though he's a villain. So that's pretty cool as well. Anthony Mackie, I think, is after turning into a great MCU character after Falcon and the Winter Soldier has just came out. He's the new Captain America now. Captain America 4 is coming. I think this is a good introductory for his character as well, but I think it just shows the progression of his character, maybe his acting as well, because in the Falcon and Winter Soldier, he's much, much more better, maybe more likable as well. Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, as always, gives an amazing job. She probably should have had her own solo movie years prior. To be honest, I know it's coming out this year, but come on, she was one of the kickstarters for the MCU. Maybe even comic book movies in a female point of view as well. So, Captain America Winter Soldier is one of my favorite MCU movies. The action is really well shot as well. It's not too choppy. The editing is pretty good at times. Maybe the opening sequence is probably the weakest point for me in terms of editing, because it kind of cuts around a lot. But I do like action where it kind of seems like one shot or very little cuts. When we get to the bridge scene with Winter Soldier on the highway, that's just really, really cool. And I think the ending was solid as well, because, you know, it wasn't really an ending, a closure to characters. It was kind of a progression of the story, which then you go into Captain America Civil War and you pick it straight up again with Bucky and what happens with Wakanda and stuff like that. So look, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good movie, and I enjoy it, and I can watch it anytime and get something enjoyable out of it. You know, and it's one of those MCU movies that I think will stand the test of time, because other ones come and go, and you maybe don't think about them a second time. But Winter Soldier definitely stays with you, and it's definitely one that you're eager to watch again. But guys, make sure you're subscribed to Anthony's channel. He does reviews on new movies, on old movies, TV shows. That man reviews anything. He asked him to review your life, he'll do it. And he's pretty damn good at it as well. But guys, give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Comment as well. I want to hear your thoughts on the Winter Soldier. I'm sure Anthony does as well. And if you want to follow me on social media, just search for Movies That Matter. Search it. You'll find me anywhere. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Bebo. Does that still exist? I don't know. I'm on it. And YouTube as well. Movies That Matter. Guys, thanks for watching and listening to my review. Maybe you disagree, but that's the joy about film. It's all subjective. Anthony, come on, man. Your turn. Get talking.
A big thanks to the Viking for being here in another video. As usual, guys, you can find the link to anybody who's here on my channel down below in the description box. Go give them some love and let them know I sent you. Again, loved having you in my video, man, and loved hearing your thoughts on this. I also have to agree with you. One of the best scenes in this film, one of my favorite movie scenes of all time as well, is definitely that scene with Captain America in the elevator where he's taking out all these guys that are, now kind of in cahoots with the bad guys, with Hydra, to take down Captain America. That elevator sequence is so so cool, and I think Chris Evans plays it so cool. Like, I just really thoroughly enjoy the movie and his vibe, and again, it just kind of, I guess the real word I can really say is cool. Like, this is just a cool movie. Like, it has so much coolness to it. It just kind of drips coolness, whether it's the visuals, whether it's the action, whether it's the dialogue, the performances, everything about it just kind of has this cool vibe to it. And that spy espionage thriller element to it very much adds to that. But yeah, the heart of the story very much is this whole thing happening with the Winter Soldier. You have Captain America, you know, Stephen Rogers, now seeing that his best friend from the past is now this mindless monster with a metal arm, and being able to see him kind of do what he has to do to try to get to Bucky, to get to the Winter Soldier, and not really being willing to fight him or take him out. You know, he really wants to reconnect and rekindle that friendship despite him being a monster, almost being mindless. I think it's handled so well. Thoroughly enjoy the performances from both Sebastian Stan and Chris Evans, and I think everybody in this film really kills it. I think this is one of the best MCU films of all time, and I'm happy to catalog it here on the channel. So yeah, guys, that's going to be my quick thoughts on the movie. Again, a big thanks to the Viking for being here in this video. If you guys have not seen the MCU films and the Captain America films, I highly recommend them. The first one, it gets a lot of crap. I personally like it. I think it's a good movie. It's definitely the weakest of the three Captain Americas. But when I look at all of these solo films of specific characters, or just the solo franchises within the MCU, sure, they all have connective tissue to all the other things, but I think the Captain America movies, for me, I think they're the strongest trilogy of movies. You know, I think the first Iron Man is great, but then the second and third kind of lose their way a little bit in certain parts of those movies. I think the Thor movies are great, but the first and second one aren't as strong as the third one. And even though the first one of the Captain America films is not as strong, I think that the second and third are top notch. And what I love about the third one, Civil War, is that in a lot of ways it's an Avengers film, but they did such a great job of still being able to center it on Captain America, since it is called Captain America Civil War. So I really think that Joe and Anthony Russo just, again, understand this world. They understand these characters. They have a really great vision for the visuals, for the action, for the way these things are shot, for the costume design, all that stuff. So I have to praise the entire creative team who was part of this movie and everybody who was behind making this movie what it is, because I think this is a really phenomenal film, one of the better comic book movies of all time, and I think one of the better MCU films of all time. So yeah, guys, definitely let me know what you guys think down below in the description box. So yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think about this movie down below in the comments section. Do you like this movie? Do you not like this movie? Where does this rank for you as far as the Captain America films? Or where does this rank for you in the MCU if you want to rank it in such a big list? Anyway, a big thanks to you guys for watching. Hit that like button. It really helps the channel out, and I would definitely appreciate it if you guys enjoyed the video. And if you guys are new here to the channel and you've stuck around this long, please click that subscribe button. I have way more content coming, a lot more collab reviews, a lot more reviews in general, and I hope you guys will stick around to be a part of it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.